I'm upset. No disrespect. I'm upset. No disrespect. Respectfully. But disrespectfully, it's disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans. Poor little bro, man. And I'ma tell him why I'm mad. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. The other state, and of course, as always, I'm upset.
Maize and Blue Nation, it's Tom Brady. I co-founded Autograph with one mission in mind: change the fan experience for the better. That's why I'm excited to announce the release of a new app that recognizes the biggest Michigan fans. The Autograph Fandom app gives you access to the best Michigan content, fan challenges, and exclusive rewards for diehard Wolverines, all for doing the things you already do, like listening to this podcast. Head over to the Apple App Store and search for Autograph Rewarding Fans and download today.
I'm upset. What's good, good people? It is I, the Maize Madman. We are back. M&M Mondays, we calling it right now. I got my guy with me.
The Maniac.
Always. Go Blue, of course. Go Blue. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to talk about it all. Today we got me and the Maniac put together our top 5 power rankings based on the performances from week 1 in the big. Just the big conference. It's no longer the Big Ten. It's just the big. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about some performances from around, the country, all of that good stuff. But let's start right here. Week 1 recap. We did our immediate reaction to Michigan versus Fresno State immediately following the game. Now that you've had a couple days to digest that, a couple days to really pick it apart, what's your thoughts on it today?
So, to be honest, man, first of all, happy Labor Day to the whole Michigan fan base, man. Shout out to everybody. Hope everyone is having a phenomenal holiday weekend. But let's get right to it. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed from my perspective, from what I saw from today, man. Look, I'm gonna say this, man. Again, people have to understand. Michigan fans, they get panicky. If we don't win 50 zip every game, here we go. Oh, we this. Guys, you got to be patient. Nor Orgy, nor Davis Warren has ever started a game, right? They got snaps and blowouts. So, guys, and these 5 linemen, although they are experienced, have never played together. So that takes time, man, to gel as an offensive unit. So, yes, and I said this, Madman, I said it on the show. I didn't expect this game to be really a blowout. I knew Fresno, what they bring. This is just who they are. They showed this for over 15 years. Fresno is no gimme. And, yeah, Michigan at times did not look like a defending champion, especially in the interior. But that last drive of the game, when they needed it most, they just took it right to Fresno. And that's what you want to see as a fan. And those are the things you have to say, okay, you know what? Maybe this is the offense we see moving forward, because we know that task this coming Saturday is going to be enormous, because we got a team that can win the national championship and is one of the top 3, top 5 teams to win it.
Right. So yeah, I agree. Definitely attention to detail got to be better. The offense has to play better. The defense was elite. They played elite. There was a couple passes given up, but Mikey Keene is a good college quarterback, so I'm going to take nothing away from that. Fresno State is a good college program, by the way, especially for a group of 5 school. They're going to challenge for that Mountain West. Whether or not they win it is another story, but that's a good team. They are well coached. Tim Skinner, I think, whatever his name is, took over for the previous coach who had to retire due to some health concerns in the offseason. And he looked like he had them ready to play right out the gate week 1. So you got to tip your hat to them. They came into the big house, hostile environment, put up a fight, at least for 3 and really 3 quarters.
I'll say 3.5.
Quarters. 3.5 quarters for sure, right? So
yeah,
shout out to them for that. But in the end, the cream rose to the top, and Michigan is just a more talented, deeper, better team. So, and no shocker in the outcome there. So shout out to that. Shout out to Chase. Welcome back, fellas. Welcome,
Chase.
Back to you.
Shout to you.
We got people from Twitch. Shout out to Minnie Joyner. Shout out to you.
Yes, sir.
My
Go
guy
Blue.
Nevada Buck is here, of course. 30-23 Michigan. Don't trust Sark in big moments.
I like you, Nevada. I like that, Nevada. I like that.
I appreciate that.
Tim Skipper. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This isn't the same Fresno team of years past. Michigan isn't very good this year. No natty this year. The same. No, are you saying that they're a bad team?
It's
a bad Fresno team.
Fresno.
By the way,
look, that's false. As far as Michigan not winning the Natty this year, that's very possible. I mean, but to say that was a bad Fresno team, that's an 8-9 win Fresno State. We're gonna see. People gonna see as the season goes on.
Yellow Bird says, I do not expect us to beat Texas. I do think this team has the ability to grow into a team that could beat Ohio State and Oregon as the season goes on. This isn't a bad take at all. Maybe,
correct.
And based off what we saw last week, maybe it is a situation where they got to grow into it. And maybe they're not going to be ready week 2 to beat a team like Texas. That said, we're going to definitely get into that.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
And if there's a game that Michigan can afford to lose, is this one. It's not a conference game, right? And it's against a top 5 team. So listen, man, I'm telling you right now, if Michigan loses Saturday, guys, the world doesn't end. Because looking at the Big Ten right now, it's tough, but they all winnable games on Michigan's schedule. Trust me. So I wouldn't pull the alarm if Michigan loses this coming Saturday, but because it's a non-conference game. So, everything else would be ahead of us, the Big Ten championship and a playoff berth.
Of course. By the way, I'll be the first to say that road looks like it's gotten tougher for Michigan to, you know what I mean? Obviously, Texas rolling in this week. USC looked like an actual football team yesterday and got a big win in prime time against an SEC opponent. Now, granted, it was Brian Kelly in week 1. We know his record, especially since he's been there in week 1. Boston College is dog walking Florida State right now. Florida State is in a lot of trouble.
What's the score?
It's 7-0 right now, but they just got another chunk play. They're probably about to go down and score again. So there's that. Here is what is interesting to me. Ryan has joined the chat. Ryan from week 0. Everybody knows Ryan in week 0. We do work over there. Shout out to week 0. Be sure to subscribe to that channel if you haven't already. That said, he says Fresno doesn't have Jake Heener or the coach that was having them at the top of the Mountain West anymore. 9 wins in the Mountain West isn't very good. This is spoken like a person who won a big game. Of course, Notre Dame beat Texas A&M in prime time.
Good win. That was a good win. Good win.
It was a solid win. Their defense looked stout too. Their offense, by the way, looked not as bad as Michigan's offense, but it wasn't exactly great either, especially the pass game. Riley Leonard, I didn't know he completed only like 23% of passes over like 10 yards, something crazy last year. But either way, Ryan is feeling himself because his team got a ranked win. So I'm not going to crush him.
Oh, wait a minute. That's that kid Ryan.
That's Ryan.
That Notre Dame fan, man. Tell him to hit the link, man, so I could cook his ass.
Right, exactly. Come on, step on up, Ryan, if you dare. It's open to anybody, by the way, who wants to join the chat tonight. I just put the link in the chat. But yeah, kick it. Kicking Chicken said, "Let me cook. Come on
Yeah.
up, sir."
Come on.
Group 5 school can get into the playoffs now, and Fresno is for sure one of them
Yes.
that can get in. Absolutely,
Yeah.
Yerky.
Yeah.
No doubt. Scott from Ohio. I'm from Steubenville and lived in Columbus for 20 years. Go Gula Gula up, 1978 Gator Bowl, by far the pinnacle of disgrace in the history of college
Yes.
football.
I agree. That's
All
when
right, we
Woody
got
Hayes.
Ryan.
That's when Woody Hayes attacked the player, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. What's good, man?
Not much, man. If my voice sounds terrible, it's because, like I said, yelling at the Texas A&M game. I was there at Kyle Field, so
Right.
we went into their house and we took over Kyle Field. That's our second home now. So,
Well, look. First of all, I'm gonna tell you this. Congratulations. That was a tough one. I'm not gonna take nothing. I'm not a hater. I'm a Michigan fan, but I'm a realist at the end of the day. That's probably your biggest win in the last 10 years. So congratulations to you on that win against Texas A&M. Because when was the last time you had a win of that sort? But it's a new year. Your running game looked good. Your defense looks solid. We will see as the season progresses how good is this Texas A&M team is. Because if that's only a 6-win team, a 7-win team, how really good of a win that was. But you can only play what's on your schedule. So regardless, y'all went in there and y'all won. So congrats to you there. But don't get cocky, player. It's still early in the game.
I appreciate it, bro. But, I'm puffing my chest out just for this week because, we had a lot of people, everybody picked against us. Everybody said A&M was going to dominate our offensive line and that all the SEC is just different and playing at Kyle Field is, playing on the road in the SEC is hard and all this stuff. And, we pushed them boys around. We were told that Nick Skirton was going to dominate our offensive line, our true freshman left tackle. And I told people, I said, we're offensive line you. We pump out first round tackles like crazy. And that kid pushed Nick Skirton around, put him in the dirt multiple times. So
definitely. How was that? You say you was there live, man. How was that atmosphere?
So it was a great atmosphere. I've only been to 2 Notre Dame away games so far. My first one was last year at Clemson. And I'll say this. Maybe it's just how the stadium is set up at Kyle Field, but I thought the Clemson game last year was a lot louder.
Really?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I mean, you could hear our fans. It was probably 60-40 A&M fans, but you could hear our fans chant on the TV. So I mean, and then of course, after we beat them, Phil, we started trolling. We were hitting them with the SEC chant. Because it just means more over there,
Yeah. I've never got me. I call it Michigan, obviously Big Ten. Just call it the Big. I really don't care for any other team in the Big Ten not named Michigan. So whether they win or lose, it doesn't do nothing for Michigan. To me, that's more of a media thing, especially with the SEC. So yeah, I'm the type that would troll them because their fans, the Kentucky fans, just wear the SEC, bro. Calm down. When Alabama wins, you don't win, bro. You understand? So I never understood. I think it's more of a media, the speed of the SEC, and you can't do nothing to the SEC. Once they get dominated and the trenches is some kind of excuse, no one talks about it. But when they do it, SEC, they just so dominant, blah, 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 blah. It's even kill, man. Listen, the SEC ain't gonna be dominating like they were. Trust me. It's gonna be, especially with all this realignment of conferences, it's gonna be even now. Trust me.
See, and the thing that takes me off is like you had said, they give excuses. Everybody picked A&M to beat us. We go in there and we dominate them in the trenches. And now the narrative is, well, A&M's mid. They're not very good. They're probably a 6-win team. All that stuff. And I was like, okay, but you didn't have that opinion before the game. You have that opinion now because they lost.
So Ryan, we gotta, whatever. We gonna chill on all this like Notre Dame praise on this channel. All right. Look, we gave y'all credit. All right. Notre Dame won the game. Congratulations. That said, I said this before this game ever took place. Now, granted, I did pick A&M to beat you, but that was more trolling you than anything. That said, I did say A&M was ranked only to give you guys this ranked win, basically, because they had no business being ranked to start the season. That said, you did what you were supposed to do. Not even what you were supposed to do. I'm gonna count that as a big feat, especially for Marcus Freeman early in his career, going on the road to a hostile environment, the 12th man, getting that victory. Kudos to you. Before we move on, though, I gotta introduce Kickin' Chicken. He been here listening to Ryan's nonsense for 5 minutes. What's good, Kickin'?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, champ. We hear you.
Yeah. Okay, so let me cook. So, okay, last week, I had Michigan 45-0 against Fresno. Okay, that's on me. I'll take that. But I expected our offensive line to be better. I expected a quarterback play to be decent, but I really expected our running backs to just cook. That was not the case. As far as this week versus Texas, I was just on a Texas podcast. They're talking about how they're going to open up the playbook and these receivers are great. Don't get me wrong. They're good receivers, but don't sleep on our defense. Like, it's really going to come down for us as Michigan to control the time of possession on the offensive side of the field.
I agree. That's how. By the way, how you slow down a high-powered offense is time of possession. Michigan really has to run the air out of the football. They got to be able to run the ball. They weren't really able to do that successfully outside of Mullins this past week. Donovan Edwards is going to have to play a lot better than he did in week 1. Now, granted, a lot of people have pointed out that Donovan plays better with better competition. That's a fact. But we didn't see anything that would give us the indication that he's ready to put up, 200 yards on Texas this week.
Yeah.
That said, the quarterback, let me just say that the quarterback, Davis Warren, didn't give us any indication that he's about to put up 300 yards on Texas this week. He didn't give us any indication he's going to put up $150 on Texas. Let's be honest. But no disrespect to Davis Warren, respectfully. But disrespectfully, he has to play better. Everybody across the board on the offensive side has to play better. The only person that showed up to play football on offense was Colston Loveland. He can't be guarded. And by the way, in Mullins, I'm going to give Mullins his credit too.
There you go.
He came to play. But outside of that, it just looked like, we rolled the football out there. And told guys to get after it. But I'm gonna let everybody get their say in on that before we move on. Maniac, what's your take?
Yeah, look, man, it's simple. We know the offense has to play much better, and we're gonna have a chance this coming Saturday. Because, like I said, this is a very tough Texas team. Now, like I mentioned, that last drive. Let's just have hope that. And the players understand that too. They understand they got to play better. Will Johnson even mentioned it. Like, listen, look, we know what's coming. But the beauty about seeing this Texas offense, this is what Michigan's seen every year with Ohio State for 3 years in a row and against Washington. So this defense is no stranger to these high-power offense with that spread with elite quarterbacks. So they understand, look, we could beat this. We could shut these down. But the offense needs to help. And you mentioned a key thing, Madman. We have to win the time of possession. The less times Quinn Ewers has that ball, the better it's going to look for Michigan. Michigan will score points. I don't know how much. I'm hoping around 20. I think 20 to 23 will get us a victory. I see the defense holding them to 17 if we keeping the ball away. If you give Texas 16, 15 possessions, they're going to score more than 17. I don't care how good your defense is. Eventually, a good offense is going to figure out a good defense.
Go Blue.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree with all that. Our offense didn't play the greatest. I think we need to be better on the offensive line to give our quarterback enough time to read his progressions. But I like I said, I got Michigan 27, Texas 21, and that's just because our defense will step up. But at the same time, it's going to be on our offensive line to help our quarterback to be able to push the ball down the field. Our running game was solid. It was not great, but it was solid.
Yes.
Our tight ends were great.
Yeah, close.
Yeah. But again, I still believe Michigan is going to come out with the victory 27 to 21, just due to the fact that we will play keep away on the defense side of the ball.
Yeah, we just gotta bend,
Yeah.
bend but don't break defense, man. Bend but don't break. They're gonna move the ball. They just talented, and if they get to the red zone, hold them to 3. We holding them to 3, then the chances look better. So it's
Right.
it's an interesting matchup.
Ryan, what do you have to say?
So, I mean, I'll be honest.
Be
Like, I
respectful.
wasn't too impressed with Davis Warren. I was kind of surprised that he ended up getting the starting job anyway. Because I thought Alex Orji was kind of a shoe-in. And I'm not even trolling. I'm just giving like real analysis here. Like, I feel like Alex Orji, like he may not be, the precise passer, that JJ McCarthy was, but his legs bring a different attribute to the offense, which I feel like against Texas, who, by the way, I know they play Colorado State, but Colorado State has a decent offense. Torrey Horton is one of the better receivers in the country, and they shut them out. So I feel like Texas's defense is a lot more improved than what they were last year. We'll find out just how much improved they are against you guys. But I mean, I think the issue is, what are you guys, which still you guys can figure it out last week, is what is the offense going to do? Because you're going to have to score at least 17 to 20, maybe 20. Is that like that threshold to have a shot to beat Texas? Because Texas's offense is one of the best in the country. Isaiah Bond absolutely dominated last week. So I feel like that's the key to the game right there.
I agree. All right. So look, before we get into this, I want to point this out. How the O-line goes, so goes the offense. I agree with that. But more importantly, even in that, this is the greatest name on YouTube right now. Third base investigators is fire. Shout out to you,
I just noticed that too.
Yo,
man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, don't
ahead.
forget Dominic Zvada. We have a great kicker. Now people could say,
Darts Vada.
listen, kickers.
Y'all saw the thumbnail.
Listen, ask Ohio State in 2022 against Georgia how important the kicker is. So,
Mello, what's up? What's up with your kicker, man?
Michigan is gonna be in a lot of close games, man. So we'll see, man.
Mello,
but having the kicker that so far is reliable, that's a key. That's huge. And Michigan so far has been lucky with that. So I'm glad we have a kicker. We're not questioning that part. Yeah, man. The offense, look, the bottom line is this, man. The offense just got to play better. They got to open it up, spread more misdirections. Get Samaji in space. Get Tyler Morris in space. Fred Moore in space. A lot of reverses, a lot of jet sweeps, a lot of read option, and then quick pass, bro. It's simple. 2-yard passes, let them cook, man. It's simple. I expect the offense to open up. One thing Sharon Moore's not a stranger to is coaching in big games. He's beat Penn State. He's beat Ohio State. This is nothing new. He won't flinch in this game. He's not. Neither will Michigan. They've been there. So this team is like, oh, my God. It's like, okay, let's go. But Texas is on paper right now, looks like the better team. But, this is college football, and things on the road goes differently on the road. Michigan has been absolutely phenomenal at home, right? And hopefully that streak continues, and that the big house has to be loud, man. They have to be the 12th man, like in Texas A&M.
For sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Kicker.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think it's gonna be rocking Michigan, and I just believe our defense is gonna hold up. I got a little more confidence in our offense. I think they held back a little bit. They're not going to just show everything, but man, it's like I said, it's going to come down to our offense.
No doubt. I definitely think we're gonna have to score some points. 24. I'm thinking 24, 27 points is going to be needed to win this game. But we'll see what happens there. Couple things of note before we move on. By the way, it looks like Mello and Nevada Buck have gotten into some real beef in the chat, but that's neither here nor there. 29 straight regular season victories for the Wolverines is a Big Ten record, by the way, breaking Michigan's own 28 game regular season win streak. Over the past 3 years, Michigan has won 3 Big Ten championships since we've had a Big Ten championship game. That's a first in Big Ten history. 29 regular season victories in a row, Big Ten history. So Michigan's made a lot of history over this time too. Hopefully we can keep that going. By the way, second longest home win streak in FBS right now. So we've got a lot to, on the line here against Texas, not just, this where we stand, this at week 2 in the season, right? It's a lot on the line.
That's for sure. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. I got to get to work. But
no doubt, man. Appreciate you joining.
Go Blue.
Yes, go Blue,
and
baby.
Like
Thanks
I said, man,
on, man.
Like I said, 27-21 Michigan.
Listen, hopefully that's all we get, man. I would love to see that.
Shout out to Kicking. Back to regularly scheduled programming. We covered that. All right, week 1. What were you impressed with week 1?
Well, man, let's just start from the top, man. Georgia, again, Kirby Smart got his boys playing. They look, absolutely tough. Now, again, Clemson, we could say what we want. We know Clemson hasn't been themselves the last couple of seasons, but they still a very solid team and still can win that ACC. And I think they'll be right there when the season ends, fighting for that spot. So, I'm going to go Georgia. Georgia definitely look impressive.
Right.
And I'm going to go, even to the Big Ten, man, USC, Penn State. Those 2 teams look, very good. Who else up there in the top? Notre Dame had a solid win, that Ryan was on, I gave him his flowers, his team flowers for that. It looks solid. I mean, nothing crazy. As far as that, I'm just trying to think who else that I was impressed with. Right. Everything else was just solid performances after that for me.
No doubt. Let's get into our big conference top 5 power rankings from week 1. Now, these aren't your traditional power rankings where we're ranking teams based on, whether or not they are going to be favorites on a neutral site at a neutral site versus, the other opponents here. This is just really a litmus from week 1, what we saw in week 1, what was most impressive.
And it's going to be from week to week.
Week to week. We're going to keep doing this thing. And we have as soon as I can get this up, I'll share the screen. Our own list. We'll start with Shores and get this thing going. 1 second. As soon as I can get it up. It's crazy. I guess we don't have it.
And no, if it's not, it's fine.
No, we got it.
Got it.
This is the Maniac's list, his power or his top 5 in the Big Ten this week.
Yeah, based on performances and the opponents.
Of course.
Yeah. Let's see.
We can share that. I just removed it. Back. There we go. All right.
Yeah. So as you can see, USC. The reason I picked USC was because of all the Big Ten teams. They played the hardest opponent, And not only did they win the game, it's how they won the game, right? They were the better team and vastly improved on the defensive side of the ball. And the offense could be a juggernaut. We know Lincoln Riley is one of the better play callers in all of college football. So he always has electric offenses. If you add just a solid defense, you don't need an elite, just a solid, them boys are going to win a lot of games. So shout to USC. What a game. Played a tough SEC team, and they got it done. Iowa. Now, the Iowa is this. Man, if Iowa score 40 points, they better be on your list. Because the last time I think they scored that amount of points, I think it was 2017 against Ohio State. When they went into Iowa City and they got fried rice. I think JT Barrett threw like 5 interceptions. It was ugly. It was like 55-20. It was one of Urban Meyer's worst losses. So Iowa, man, listen, we know every year defense is never a question. It's their offense. Not saying that these guys are offensive juggernaut, but if they could score 20 plus a game, this is another team in the Big Ten that can make a lot of noise and could possibly fight for a spot at the Big Ten title game.
Right.
And of course, Penn State, number 3. Now, Penn State last year, I think what was holding them back was Drew Allard. He's elite. He was one of the top pocket quarterbacks in all of college. He just didn't look the part last year. This year, he's ripping the ball. He looks like he's gonna be what people expected him to be. Penn State is another team on the defensive end. They're never shortage of defensive players. They're always solid on that side. If they could get it rolling and Drew Allard could be consistent all year, watch out for Penn State as well. They got Ohio State at home. That'd be big. Now, Ohio State, the reason I put them in, it's just pretty much by default. I mean, they were losing early to Akron, but they got it together. Not that they look phenomenal. Their receiver, though, Jeremiah Smith, that kid is a stud. He's going to be a problem without a doubt. But Ohio State always have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to the wide receiver position, right? But, again, this is the team everyone is picking to win the Natty. So they did okay to me. I think it's enough, though. It's enough to be on the list. And why I picked Michigan 5? No, not because they're my team. Because of all the Big Ten teams who played non-Power 5 teams, Michigan played the toughest one. And they won. And I think Fresno State is better than every other non-Power 5 conference team that anybody in the Big Ten played this week, and they won. Yeah, it wasn't the way I wanted to win, but Michigan got it done because their performance, to me, was better than Oregon's, because Oregon struggled.
Absolutely. That was the Maniac's top 5. I'm going to get into my own here as soon as I can find it. It doesn't look like all right, here we go. We got it. Let's see if I can share this with you guys really quickly. And I'll explain my top 5. So number 1, I got USC. A lot of the same reasons as my guy, the Maniac. USC, the offense, Lincoln Riley, we know has the ability rather, to be explosive. We know what he did at his time in Oklahoma, what he did that first year in USC, and it looked like at least for parts in this game that he was back to that 378 yards for Miller Moss, who looks like a call center supervisor, but that's neither here nor there. He looked good for long stretches in this game, so I got to give them their just due there. Number 2 for me, Iowa. I saw a lot of people saying that Penn State would be above or like 3-2, whatever. I put Iowa here, and I'm gonna tell you why. They blanked their opponent. Granted, they played like Illinois State. We get all of that, but they held them to 0 points, under 200 yards of total offense. While on the flip side, Iowa had nearly 500 yards of total offense. Cade McNamara completely went off in that second half. The running game, they went over like 240, 250 on the ground. So nearly 500 yards for Iowa is crazy, which is why I said they had an
Yeah,
offensive explosion. 40
yeah.
points on offense, 0 points on defense. We expect that from their defense. This schedule sets up well now if they can play this way for them to be in contention for the Big Ten championship game at the end of the season. Number 3, I got Ohio State. Excuse me, the other state.
Yes.
I picked the other state at number 3. They could have been number 2. They very well could have been number 2, but I'm dinging them for being down number 1 to Akron and then giving up 6 points as opposed to Iowa's 0 points. Now, granted, an argument can be made that Akron is better than Illinois State. Absolutely. If that's what you want to do, then let's do that. That's fine. But they didn't come up with nearly 500 yards of offense. I think they had like 404. So that's the difference for me. I think Will Howard, he looked okay at stretches in this game. He does give me the Ben Roethlisberger vibes in terms of like his physicality. It's going to be hard to get him down. You're not going to be able to just put an arm out and wrap him up. He's a big, strong guy. He didn't even really show off the wheels, but we know he has them. So, they still have that in the tuck. And Jeremiah Smith looks as advertised. He's going to be a man. Carnell Tate got off in this one too. So, they have some weapons. We know that. Judkins was getting crushed early in this game, but eventually, had a breakout. But moving on to Penn State, if Drew Aller can play the way he played against West Virginia all year, then all of the narratives about Penn State, all of the narratives about Drew Aller are going to be out the window because this is who he was supposed to be, last year, right? The year before, Drew Aller was supposed to be this guy that could, help Penn State get over the top. Like my guy pointed out, they got the other state at home this year. It's a great opportunity for them to exercise some demons. Will they? Probably not, because James Franklin is James Franklin, who tried to choke some of this up to West Virginia, but I digress. We move on to number 5 for me. I chose Maryland. I very easily could have chose Michigan. I very, very easily could have chose Indiana, but I went with Maryland. They completely dominated UConn. It didn't look like a contest at all, and UConn has a coach that I respect. I thought they'd be able to put up some points, but Maryland had a complete game against UConn, completely shut them out. That's my top 5. Let's give us your top 5 in the chat. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? But this is something that we're going to be doing, bringing to you guys week to week.
Yes. And also, just, a PSA, man, only one Big Ten team lost this weekend. Do you know who they were?
Minnesota.
Correct.
Lost.
And it was right there. They missed the field goal late, and they missed the field goal early in the game, a chip shot. So the Big Ten easily could have been undefeated. Going again, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not big on my conference. Look at my conference. No, I really don't care. I mean, we just talking sports, based on performances. So, because I know the Big Ten does get a lot of backlash or the slow, but it's always been arguably the second best conference in all of college football, behind the SEC. And the Big Ten, it's just a rich conference. You won't see. When was the last time we saw a team leave the Big Ten to go to another conference?
Right. Yeah. That doesn't happen very often.
So you see teams come. So it's man, I love college football. Great. It was a very, very good week. USC, PSU, boom, Iowa, Maryland. Okay, Fish Finder. That's a nice top 5.
I like that.
No, definitely. And it's a subjective list, right? Because people are gonna give, reasons, regarding other. Maryland's taking up their back. Yo, listen, UConn's been crushing everybody, man. Back-to-back national champions. But look, it's gonna be an interesting season, man. One thing in college football, majority of the time, things don't always go as we predict, right? You're gonna get a game where we're gonna give one team absolutely 0 shot to win, and they're gonna win this game. That's just college football for you. So
Right.
I just hope Michigan is not that team and it's gonna lose in those big games.
Absolutely. Before we go any further, I got to take this time. We got 70 people here. We should have 70 likes.
Likes.
If you're on mobile, just hit the X, hit the thumbs up, and then you can hop right back in the chat. If not, just scroll down, hit the like, and then you can get right back to regularly scheduled programming. I promise you, it's not going to cost you nothing to show a little love. Absolutely, man. I think you're absolutely right. I saw my guy Mello post something here. I wanted to get that up because he is not lying. Oregon looks like complete frauds. Now, granted, I think it was a little their quarterback threw the ball 49 times. Let's start there. All right.
Yeah.
Which indicates to me that you're having some offensive line trouble. You can't, control the line of scrimmage to get the run game off. I saw that one of the running backs had, like 95 yards, but if that's the case, then you should have been able to, handle Idaho and put them away for sure. They hung around. In fact, they had that game pretty close late. So to this point, Oregon doesn't look that great. Now, I got to take people back to last season when Oregon was in a close one with like Texas Tech week 1, 2. They needed a late interception to get out of trouble there.
I think it was week 2.
Week
week
2,
2 or week 3. Yeah, they went over there.
Yeah.
It was a close game.
It was a close game, and they obviously got out of trouble. We know the kind of season they ended up having a season ago. So,
yeah, Minnesota won. UCLA. Yeah, he just trolling.
Yo, what are you
Minnesota
doing?
won. The only team that lost.
What are we doing?
Yeah,
maybe
Mello.
This is his bottom 5. This your bottom 5.
Yeah.
By the way, if this is your bottom 5, don't be disrespectful, Mello. Don't be disrespectful. Michigan has no business.
So Mello's Ohio State fan, right?
Mello's an Ohio State fan, and it's disrespectful.
Right. It's all right. Definitely
hit the like button for sure. Appreciate that. Let's talk about some things. We spoke a little bit about USC looking impressive. They certainly impressed me because I had them losing that game. I bet some money on that game. They lost me some money on that game. But the defense, what's his name? D'Anton Lynn. He's the defensive coordinator over there.
Yeah. He was the UCLA defensive coordinator.
Right.
Yeah.
He looked like he's had an immediate impact, right, on that team. Whether or not they're playing elite defense, I wouldn't necessarily go that far. They gave up a bunch of yards. Honestly, Nussmeier looked good for LSU too, but ultimately they couldn't execute when they needed to. And I think that's the difference. I saw somebody say that if USC is mid, that D'Anton Lynn is going to have a head coaching job. I believe that, by the way. But offensively, we know who they can be and what they look like at times in this game. Really quick, your impression on USC. I know you gave an opinion, but
no, I was very impressed with USC. Again, I'm not gonna jump out the window and say they looked elite. They didn't look elite. They looked very good. And based on what we saw week 1 in the Big Ten, they could absolutely contend for a Big Ten title, right? Again, it's about consistency, right?
Yes.
Some of these teams, we see them go 3-0 and then lose 4 straight. And it's like, what happened? So college football is weird like that. But they will be 100% undefeated when they come rolling to the big house because they play Utah State next at home, which should be a win. And then they get a bye. And then off the bye, they come into the big house. So they should be 2-0, ranked somewhere in the mid-teens when they come into the big house. So that's going to be what? 2 undefeated teams for Michigan in the span of 3 weeks.
Absolutely. Real quick, my guy Troy brought up this point. Quiet is kept. Rutgers was doing their thing. They definitely were. My problem though is that early in that game, they had Howard looking like a defensive stalwart, and so that's why they didn't make my top 5. But Rutgers, I think Rutgers is going to be a team too to be reckoned with in the big conference.
Yeah.
They got a pretty favorable schedule too. It's a lot of these teams
They
that
have it.
avoid.
They probably have the most favorable. And
Yeah,
the good thing is this. Look, Greg Schiano, his team, they take on his identity. They play with an attitude. Rutgers plays with an attitude. Remember his Ray Rice years. They was an elite team. They was up there competing, and they was one of the best teams in the country. So is he gonna get Rutgers back to there?
shout out to
That's
Jack.
yes, sir. Jack Redman, go blue. That's a different question. I don't think so. There's so many good teams in the Big Ten that compete with for recruiting, but we know Jersey, it's that state pumps out talent like crazy. They could keep some of that talent in-house. Yeah, man, Rutgers can make noise. They gonna be one of those teams that you'll beat, but you're gonna come out with a black eye. I'm like, yeah,
Right.
man, I beat
Yeah,
them up, but damn, this team is tough. So yeah,
for
man,
sure.
shout the Rutgers.
For sure, no doubt. I know you gotta get to you got like 9 o'clock, 4 corners, something, right? Okay,
Wednesdays. That's
Wednesday.
Wednesdays.
Cool. All right. So, yo, first of all, Moose, Mello, let's let's get the chat under control a little bit.
What's
Yeah,
going
no
on in
personal
there?
attack. Let's not attack each other personally.
Yeah. It's all right.
Mello,
Guys,
we know
listen.
Mello been a guy on the channel for a long time. He's a fan of the other state. That's my guy. Let's treat him with some respect, obviously, and that goes both ways.
Yeah. Listen, man, I get it. I hate Ohio State. I hate their fans. But at the end of the day, guys, it's just a sport, man.
Right.
I get it. It does get heated, and I want to knock you out, man. But we
What
gonna
up,
keep
though?
it. We keep it clean. What up, though, to the family? Go blue. I know, and then and we just gotta keep our composure, man, because we ain't getting rich. Michigan won the Natty. My bank account didn't change. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and vice versa, man. But it'd be good to get Mello, why you don't get in the link, man, and chop it up with us, and you
Right.
tell us what you
Mello
feel.
got a show going and all that, man. He ain't invite me over there. None of that, by the way. No, I'm messing with you.
Wow.
But yeah,
Wow,
for
you
sure, we
see?
definitely gotta get Mello up at some point.
And
Shout
they
out to
like
my guy
stuff.
Moose. Moose is here. Shout out to Moose.
Yeah, man. Shout to all of you Michigan fans, baby. I love you all. You guys are
Right.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But this is, if I know it's just week 1. But, again, this is another thing. Right now, who's your leading Heisman candidate after 1 week?
Oh, man. That is, look,
I know who I got
Beck
my
in
man.
there.
Who?
Beck is in there.
Okay.
Cam Ward was on fire. Gotta give him some love. Man, week 1. Man, homie for Arizona, the wide receiver for Arizona,
he went crazy. And the running back from Boise, he had like 6 touchdowns.
Right.
He had like 3 something rushing. Bayer was to Georgia Southern, I believe.
Right.
But hey, listen.
Look, okay, here's the thing. And this is gonna be unpopular, but Travis Hunter got to get some of that love.
That's my guy.
3
That's
touchdowns,
my guy right there.
Over 100 yards. He played like he only missed like 2 snaps total in that game. The dude is absolutely incredible, and I gotta show him some love. So I think those guys. I'll throw Miller Moss in there. He had himself a game. So those are my 5 guys right now. If it's one ahead of everybody else, I don't know that for sure right now. Give me the guy in Arizona right now. I think he had the most impressive week.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go. I gotta go Travis Hunter, man.
Yeah.
And the reason is that in this day and age, to be able to be elite on both sides of the ball, that is crazy, man.
Yeah,
I think crazy.
Will talked about wanting some snaps on the offensive side of the ball, but I don't think he's gonna get any. Sharon Moore kind of shut that down.
I told you this. Don't be surprised come Saturday, right? See, this is one thing Michigan needs to do. Bring in Will Johnson, right? Or he's going to get the ball. Decoy him to death. Make believe he's going to get this jet sweep. The whole defense is gonna bite. Boom, you fake orgy. Let him go run. I'm telling you, we should have done that more with Peppers. We really didn't. And I think we got to take advantage of that. I wouldn't, obviously, Will Johnson is not the athlete Travis Hunter is, and Will Johnson's a phenomenal athlete. They'll both be first round picks. They'll be top 10 picks coming April. But Travis Hunter's just different, man. That dude, my goodness. But we'll see. Morse will be my pick.
Yeah, he said Morse will be my pick. One game isn't enough data. No, for sure.
Yeah, true. No. Sure. I know that. Listen. This is just for conversation. Every week
we're talking about people living in the basement, living in other people's mother's basement. The chat has disintegrated, bro.
Oh man,
it's over in there.
Oh man, it's getting out of control.
Join the chat at your own risk. By the way, be sure to share this with your friends on social media. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be sure to check out my guy, the boxing maniac, and his YouTube channel. I'm gonna put that in the description before the night is over. Anything else you wanted to rant on, talk about?
No, man. Listen, before my closing thoughts is this, man. Michigan this coming Saturday has to show us something, man. Yeah. We've been spoiled the last 3 seasons. We've been spoiled. There's really no way to put it. We've been winning these big games. Will Johnson even mentioned that. That's what gives me confidence. This is not new to Michigan. And facing an offense of this stature, we've been there. So that doesn't faze me. The only difference is we never really had this much question marks about the offense. I think we're good enough to be at. If we was playing in Austin, yeah, I would have been like, yeah, this might not look good. But being home, I think that's gonna play dividends. And I think Davis Warren is going to play a very good game. He's not going to go crazy, not that 350, but I think he might be in the 200s, maybe 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. They have to open it up. They're going to have to. So we'll see. 30-27 Michigan, Yerke. Yes, sir. I like that. I like that a lot.
I think Michigan comes to play Saturday big time.
Yes, sir, Jack.
I think so. Agree. I think Sharon Moore had a team ready to go. By the way, we didn't give our predictions. We'll do a preview show, I guess, later in the week. I'm definitely going to be doing some work on the channel this week, so be on the lookout for that. Be sure to
we
follow
can
me.
Also if you want, we can also preview some of the other games going on. There's some good games, even though it was against Chattanooga, man, that Tennessee quarterback looks tough too. His name, he has a Chuka Pacatuca.
Oh yeah. He did look good. He looked really good, and I forgot about him.
Listen, this is going to be a phenomenal college season. Can't wait. Michigan gets 2 interceptions. I agree. I think Ewers, he's going to definitely. The national me and Wright would say, yeah, you're right, Lee. They cooking us. Everybody's picking against us. Game day will also be in Ann Arbor this coming season.
So Big Noon Countdown, I believe, right? Big Noon Countdown and Game Day.
The Game Day and Big Noon. And I'm going to tell you, they all going to pick Texas to win this game. We love it. And we'll see. Nico Lama.
That's his name. It's something like that. But
yeah.
Right.
Regardless, he's a stud, man. That kid, he's the good so far.
Yak that block looks serious on you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And listen, I got more apparel. I'm holding it back because it's gonna be a lot of episodes. I got the gloves too. Don't make me throw the gloves on. Definitely.
Why would I be looking? Oh man, I shouldn't have put this up. But I don't know what's happening in that.
Yo, Mello, who Mello's going at it with? Man,
Moose, Mello, Marmar, Nevada Buck. It's
guys, listen.
Crazy.
Why y'all should have just came in the chat and just spoke it out, man, right here, man, online. This is what we do.
Look,
Corso, Corso is gone.
No, he was back on there. They bring him on. He's gone for like the main part of the show, but when they do the picks at the end, they bring
with the helmet, he gonna pick that ugly ass. that Longhorn. He gonna pick
By the way, horns down all week. Horns down all week. We know what time it is. Until next time, be sure to follow me everywhere at Maize Madman. Follow my
Yes,
guy,
sir.
the Boxing Maniac. Tell them where they can find you.
You already know. You see it there. D_boxing_maniac. Follow me on Instagram. Everything else is there, man. Like I said, I believe very soon, man, I'm gonna get this Instagram just for Michigan, for my Michigan brothers, man. It's been a long time. I think it's time.
No doubt. We are talking about dead mothers. Wolfgang.
Come on. Yeah.
Anyway, until next time. I would say stay angry, but y'all seem angry enough.
Y'all angry for real.
Y'all angry. I'm